Hello, my name is Richard Powers, the Assistant Dean at the Rotman School of Management. It is my pleasure to introduce Professor Joe DeCruz, Professor of Strategy and the Academic Director of Rotman's Bridge to Business program. Professor DeCruz will provide you with an overview of the program. Should you have any questions after viewing the video, please contact Katie Atkinson at 416-978-6690. I hope you enjoy the video.
I want to tell you about an exciting new program we're developing at the Rotman School called Bridge to Business. This is meant for people like you with an undergraduate degree. You have a degree, a BA or a BSc, which you have taken with a liberal arts approach, which means that if you're studying history, you've also done some science. If you're studying science, you might have done some philosophy. In other words, what you've done is you've adopted a very broad-based approach to getting your undergraduate education. The outcome of that is that you have learned to think, and that's the most important outcome. Not that you've learned history or you've learned a particular kind of science. The most important outcome is that you've learned to think, you've learned to use logic, you've learned to analyze. In addition to that, in your undergraduate program, you have learned to write. You have been able to write essays, you have been able to put logical thoughts to paper. So those are the things you get from inside an undergraduate program. What is equally important about you is the stuff that you've done outside the box of your degree. And those are things, for example, like creating great social value, either in a church group or in a social group or in a volunteer context, in a hospital, etc. You have demonstrated by what you've done in the past that you have social value. Secondly, you have demonstrated that you are valuable to your peers in the university. So you've helped your peers either academically or socially or personally. Your peers look upon you as a valuable person. And the third thing is that sometime in your life already you've had some significant achievements. This may have been in high school, this may have been at university, it may have been in a non-profit organization, or it may have been in a job that you've had while you were studying. But you've done something. So those are the three things, therefore, that constitute you. You know how to think, you know how to write, and you can act, you can do things. Now it's time for you to get a job. And herein lies a problem, because there is no obvious job that is available for a person like you. The employers don't have a job title which says, we want somebody who can think, who can write, and who can act. And therefore, there's a gap. The gap is between what you have become and what you need and the first job that you're looking for. And that's a gap that we have designed this program to fill. The program, called Bridge to Business, is a way to help you to come from the end of your undergraduate degree to your first job. So let's look at what there is in this program. First of all, what we've done, Bridge is an intensive 4-week boot camp style, heavily workload-oriented program in which we have packed a lot of stuff which we've taken out of our full-time MBA program. So you will learn some material from the first year of our full-time MBA program that is directly applicable and useful in the first job you will get after graduation. The second thing that you will learn in the Bridge to Business program is how to work as a team. Now, this is something most undergraduate programs do not do a good job of. They don't teach you, for example, how to lead a small team, how to be a valuable member of a small team, how to work collaboratively with others. And in the Bridge to Business program, a lot of the content of that program is focused on helping you become a really valuable team player. And the third thing we will do in the Bridge program is help you to find your first job. So we'll help you to develop a top-flight resume, we'll teach you about networking, we teach you about interview skills, and we will help you focus on the type of job that you should be looking for just after your undergraduate degree. So the question then becomes, what kind of job should you be looking for? Now, clearly, one of the things you're looking for is money. By now, you're probably fed up of leading the student life. Maybe you want to buy a car, you want to eat out sometime, so you need a job that will give you money. However, that is not the most important thing you should be looking for in your first job. Money is important, but it is not the most important thing. Even more important in your first job is the opportunity to have fun. Now, by this I don't mean that you should laugh a lot and joke a lot in your first job. What I mean is you should have an opportunity to engage in activities that are fulfilling. You should enjoy what you're working in. And then the third thing that you should be looking for in your first job after graduation is a platform. And here's what I mean by a platform. There are three things that you can do after you've been in your first job for a couple of years. The first is come back to us and get a full MBA from the Rotman School. And in fact, we anticipate that about half of the people who go through the Bridge to Business program will eventually end up back in an MBA program. You get an MBA, and then after that you can get a fabulous job in an investment banking organization or in a marketing organization, earn lots and lots of money, have a great future career. Alternatively, you can look upon your first job as a platform for a career, which means that you might find a job in a company in which you can work for many years. And there are companies where you join them immediately after graduation and you can spend a long career in the same company. Or you could choose to find a job which will allow you to have a long career in an industry, moving from company to company in the same industry. Or alternatively, you might think of a career in a specialty where you move from industry to industry and firm to firm. So those are the kind of outcomes that you can think of out of the platform of the first job that you get after graduation. So the third thing you could do out of after the first 2 years of working is to start up a business of your own. And this indeed could be the most exciting thing you do in life. However, before you start up a business, it is really wise to work for a few years in the industry in which you're going to start up the business so that you can gain industry experience, network and contacts, etc. So, if you want to find out more about this, call Katie. Katie is our marketing officer for this program. Here's her phone number, or you can email Katie. Here's the email. And of course, we have a fabulous website where you can go and get additional information.